Today we will be on page 54. This is lesson 8. Again, page 54. If you need to pause this video at any point in time to write something down, then you can do that. We're going to start on number 3. Draw an area model to prove the following number sentence is true. So we're going to draw a box, and we're going to use our first fraction, 2/5. So we're going to break it into 5 parts. And we're going to shade in 2 of those 5 parts. Now we're going to try to turn this into 4/10. So right now we have 2/5, and we need to show 4/10. So if we cut this box in half and make our parts smaller, we now have 4 out of 10. B, we're going to draw a box and show 2/3. So we're going to break it into 3 parts. And we shade in 2 of those 3 parts. To make this into 12ths, we're going to have to break the box into 4 more parts, or 4 parts the other way. Now we have 8 out of 12. Let's look at C. We're going to draw our box. Using our first fraction, we're going to break it into 6 parts. And shaded 3 of those 6 parts. That shows 3/6. In order to get it to 12ths, we're going to have to break the box in half the other way. Now we have 6/12. All right, for our last one, we're going to draw a box. Again, we're going to show 1/6. So break it into 6 parts. This time we have 4 out of 6. So we shade 4 parts out of 6. That gives us 4/6. To make 12ths, we're going to have to break the box in half. And now we have 8/12. All right, let's look down at number 4. Number 4, it says use multiplication to find an equivalent fraction with the fraction below. It does not give us another fraction, so we have to create an equivalent fraction. So if we take 3/4 and times the top and the bottom by the same number, then we can get an equivalent fraction. So if I times the top and the bottom by 2, it has to be the same number, then I would get the equivalent fraction 6/8. If I was to times the top and the bottom by 3, then I would get 9/12, another equivalent fraction. All right, let's look at B, 4/5. I can multiply this by any number as long as the top and the bottom are the same. So any number 2 through 9, I could write and multiply. So let's do 5. 4 times 5, and 5 times 5. So 20 25ths. Look at C. 7 6. Again, times the top and the bottom by any number 2 through 9. So if I did 2, I would have 14 twelfths. 14 twelfths is equivalent to 7 6. All right, our last one, 12 sevenths. If I multiply the top and the bottom by the same number, let's do 2 again, I get an equivalent fraction, 24 14ths. Okay, let's look at number 5. On 5, you have to determine, is the number sentence true? And if it's false, you need to change it to show that it's true. So if I have 4 thirds, what could I times 4 thirds by to get 8 ninths? Well, if I times 4 times 2, I get 8. But 3 times 2 does not get ninths. So this is false. So I need to show that I could multiply 4 times 2 to get 8, but it would equal 3 times 2, which is 6. B, 5 fourths. Can I times it by anything to equal 10 eighths? If I times 5 times 2, I get 10. 4 times 2, I get 8. So this one is true. Next, if I have 4 fifths, and I times it by something to get 12 tenths. 4 times 3 is 12, but 5 times 3 is not 10. So this one is false. What it should have been is 4 times 3 is 12, 5 times 3 is 15, not 10. Last one, 4 6. Can I times it by the same number to get 12 18ths? Well, 4 times 3 is 12, 6 times 3 is 18. So it is true. All right, it is time to do lesson 8 in Zearn. If you need to go back to this video, you can. Please make sure that you're completing your Zearn lessons, and if you don't complete it at school today, you need to complete it at home to stay on top of your work.